Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Welcome everyone this
Morning.
morning. Let's all just get ourselves centered, lean back. We'll take our three slow, long breaths in and out. Eyes open or closed, whichever helps you to feel safer and more comfortable. Lean back in your chair if you have something to support your back. Yeah. I'm going to focus inwards. Everyone focus inwards on themselves. Never mind the rest of us here. Take a few more breaths. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for us to get settled. Focusing on the breath, even when the other thoughts come in. Focus back on your breath. And from our center, just feel the bubble or the balloon get bigger and bigger. And just fill the space around us, pushing everything else outside of it just for the next hour. And we're going to step it up a little bit, one hand or two hands over your heart, focusing on your heart area, letting the feelings come up and just noticing the feelings as they come and letting them be here, the different emotions that arise, the different emotions that are coming up to be seen. Noticing what's calling our attention away from our breath. And just noticing it's there and then returning to focusing on the breath again. Going back inside to that still, quiet space that's always there. And Tomo, keep doing your breathing. Ken, we're going to focus your attention down on your heart. Go inside, in behind those thoughts. We're going under all of those thoughts. Yes, those thoughts are still there, but you're going to go under it. There you go. Into your heart where there's a still quiet space. Like we're going under the rough ocean, under the water, deeper and deeper with each breath. Settling into the bottom, sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Just feeling completely still in this space. With every out breath, we release more of the tension. The thoughts get further away. Sitting in the still, quiet space that's always, always at the center of our being. In this moment, we're completely safe. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your butt on the chair. Adjust if you have to. Feel your hand over your heart. Relax your hands if that feels more comfortable. can put them down if that's more comfortable now. Just being here in this space. I'm gonna go for just another 30 seconds and I'll count that off. I'll watch the time as you just feel the centering, the settling under all of the chatting. You're reminding yourself you got this. The space is always with us, in each of us, always here. Mm. And 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in and last breath out, a big breath. Right, and bring yourself back, open your eyes, they're closed. So, welcome both of you. There's a lot happening out there in the universe, a lot of energy swirling for people. You both have also had just a lot of shifts happening, a lot of things happening. Is there anything in particular anyone wants to share first and kind of update the other or update us on? We'll keep it brief.
I can start. Hi, Tamako. I'm not sure if you.
Morning.
Good morning.
You got haircut.
Yeah, I got a haircut.
Good.
Just got a haircut this morning. I apologize for missing the session last 2 weeks ago, I think, Tuesday.
No problem.
I had to be hospitalized with a panic attack.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. Yeah, I told Cindy in our session on Tuesday, but yeah, that's why I couldn't make it our session last time, but I'm back now, feeling very normal. So yeah, that's just a brief update.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kensho, tell us the after effects, or tell us the consequence of having been hospitalized, and yeah, what came out of that?
Yeah, I learned many things.
Yeah, because it sounds really scary and it sounds awful, and it, for some people it might sound like a failure.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually grateful that I got hospitalized. I actually sent myself there, called the ambulance. I told them I want to stay here, and so they sent me to the psych ward. Um, and it is interesting. Psych ward I thought was only for like psychotic people, but they put me under great medical guidance and back to normal. And I learned a lot of things like how powerful your mind can be, even when you're having a panic attack. I managed to eat a whole meal, even take a shower, um, just did everything I can before I got hospitalized. And yeah, it's been a great thing that's happened for me this year. uh, um, yeah, um, I learned how.
Yeah, so that separation. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kensho.
I learned how powerful the mind can be, even when you're having extreme um, physical difficulties, like your heart beating, you're sweating, your hands shaking. But now I feel better and great, so I'm glad it happened.
So I
How many
wanted
days
to
you want? Oh, sorry.
sorry, I wanted to ask you first, Kensho, I wanted to ask you first if is it okay one of the things you said when you came out was that you wanted to go by Kensho, not Ken anymore.
Yes, Kensho. Yes, that's correct. So my real name is Kensho, Kensho. But I just kind of went with Ken in Hawaii because people had a hard time saying my name for some reason. They say Kenshu or Kenjo. For some reason, they can't say my name. But I'm gonna go back to being Kensho. A lot of the times when I meet people the first time, they always question my name. Excuse me, how do you pronounce it? Like, okay, fuck it, Kensho. Name.
Do I have your permission to change it for
Yes,
today? Okay. Go ahead, Toma. Did you have other questions?
No, I asked how many days he was in hospital, but he said 5 days.
5 days. Yeah, 5.5 days.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was psych ward was like a semi-prison.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah, but it was nice. I liked it.
So I wanted to just point out one of the similarities that Tomo may be also able to relate to is that Kensho, you had kind of a part of you that really just wanted someone else to take care of you.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
Yeah, and I mean you're alone in Hawaii. You're completely alone. But it's also part of growing up. You part of the wounding was that you really had to take care of yourself. So it was this like we can let you go or we can monitor you.
Like you got to monitor me.
Yeah, you're like let you guys can monitor me, because it's like someone's taking care of me. But then you kind of found out that that's not kind of your idea of being taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's medical ways to take care of me. There's emotional ways to take care of me. There's financial ways to take care of me. But earlier this month, I think I needed the medical care. So I had that now. So I'm back again.
And you're now better able to do the care yourself, right? To take care of
Exactly.
yourself all of those ways. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so what you did was you took yourself to the people to help care for you when you needed help,
Yes, that's right.
right?
Yes.
So that's when you say separate, that the mind is really, you learned how powerful the mind is over the body. I want us to also remember that separation is a really big part of our spiritual journey of realizing that there's a part of us experiencing and witnessing light. Yeah, sometimes people call that the observer self, or that is actually the spiritual self that can see us. Hey, my body is going through all of this and is having a panic attack, but like I'm still want to take a shower before I go, and I want to eat before I go, right? Like you're like kind of planning it. And yet there's a part of you that's like, oh smokes, my body is like kind of flipping out. And so that separation is important to notice. And the next important part is to understand that that's the whole of you. You are made up of different pieces.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when we worry about it, because sometimes it kind of sounds like people are like, oh my God, am I crazy? Because it's like when we see stories of people who have multiple personalities, they actually don't have that wholeness. I'm one. They don't have that observer who's able to start quarterbacking or like calling the plays, calling what all of the different pieces of us are going to now. Okay. Whew. Any other questions there for Kensho?
When I channel, I have so many multiple personalities and I don't know who I am.
Right, because it's not yours. That's not your personalities.
Yeah, but sometimes it's all talking through me. So it's like, It's like, oh, do I have like multiple personalities? Bipolar. But yeah.
I think there's certainly like so many versions
Okay. So that's important for your,
of
so remember that it's many pieces of us, right? That's why the inner child healing is we're collecting pieces of us. It's a soul fragmentation. Our wholeness broke off. Our wholeness had stuff happen to it at different ages, and that a piece of us broke off from our center that is loving, that believes that we are loving and whole. Because our parents were supposed to help affirm that for us. They were supposed to help care for us and treat us this way. But again, many of them are broken themselves, so they couldn't do it. So when stuff happened, it's like a piece of us broke off and figured, I'm going to do life this way so to keep myself safe at all different ages. So that is why there feels like there's different personalities. Yeah. And the journey is to go in and recognize that that personality that's like that's upset all the time, or that's like crying and needy, that those different personalities are just unhealed pieces of ourselves. They're us. They're not to hate. They're not to get frustrated with. They're not to like try to shut up. They're kids and we're the parent. They're there for us to see and bring in and let them know, I got you. Like, yes, I know it's scary. Yes, what they did was scary, or yes, what they did was hurtful, but I got you, and I'm gonna be the one that's gonna choose how to act and how to respond and if to respond. Yeah, so Tomo, you recognizing that you have multiple parts that come in and they're not you. Yeah, that recognition is literally what is going to set you apart. So it's very important that those questions, the part of the questions that come up out of your the doubtful pieces of you, yeah, that's the part that broke off. That's like, something must be wrong with me. I'm not enough in some way, right? Those are the parts of you that's like, do I have multiple personalities? Do I have bipolar? Like, I will tell you, as a clinician who's been doing this for a long time and who's been diagnosing, you have neither.
I
Yeah.
know.
So those questions, so when when you really step into the healer you, yeah, that question is not gonna come out of your mouth again.
I was joking, sorry.
Right. So again, but as a creator, we know that we have to be careful with our words, right? So I mean, like literally, whether we're being sarcastic, whether we're joking, whether we're watching something on TV, whether we're just making up a story, we are being creative with our. So we just got to be really careful. It's kind of like when my kids would talk and they were little, and they talk about like there's a times when they would say something like, "Oh, I would like kill her," and then it's like, "I'm just joking," and it's like, okay, the fact that that's in your consciousness is really the issue. Yeah. So that'll shift. That'll shift. Um, I want to talk about the end in the shine practices. The end is really having the new you or the new me concept. So at this point, you both have worked some and clarified pieces, and you'll keep clarifying pieces of the new you. But I heard it differently the other day, and I wanted to share that and see if that's helpful for you guys as well. And that's understanding that we create the new me idea because we're creating a new persona. We talk about multiple personality, right? We're creating a new identity. or a new person. And when we create that new person living that new life, what we start practicing are identity-based habits. Identity-based habits. So if I want to be someone who is healthy and fit at my ideal weight, is that person going to exercise daily? Is she going to be eating ice cream after 7 o'clock? Like these are like the identity of that person, right? So I have to figure out for that health and fitness, what are the habits of me and that identity? And I have to practice those habits as much as possible. Yeah. So when they say act as if, the way that we heard it before, have you guys heard that? Like
Act
as if.
act as if.
Act. Yes. Act as if you already have $1 million money, right? Act as if you already have the $1 million that you want. What's that, Kensho?
There's a quote that says, "Fake it until you make it."
Kensho, did you?
Can you hear me?
Kensho, I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
There's a quote called "Fake it until you make it." Is that similar?
It is actually similar. It is very similar. Yeah. So that fake it till you make it, the fake is you fake being the way that you want to be. Yeah. Till you get there. Till you become it. That's totally another way of doing that. So the idea is when we conceive a new me, and in the new me, we want to do the categories and focus on the categories that we have. We have things we want to change. We have a different way we want to be. If we are really happy in, say, our social life, then we're not going to bother putting that in the new me. It's kind of like if on a table we already ate the food and we're like want to leave the plate. Like, no, we want to get rid of that and make room for all the new things that you're ordering. Yeah. So you want to focus on, give me a category. Each of you give me a category for you in your new me. That means a lot to you.
Emotional.
Okay. Emotional. Let's walk through the emotional category. Tell me, as the new you, what does your emotional life look like?
I'm always joyful. I'm always curious. I'm always happy.
Okay. So we're gonna remember, we want to also be aware of universal law, right? So the word always goes against universal law of rhythm, because we're never always going to be any one mood. Okay. So we just want to keep that in mind when you're doing that. Yeah. So for your emotional life, being joyful, curious, and happy, what kinds of thoughts and habits would you have? Let's do thoughts first. What kind of thoughts would you be having?
I'll be having thoughts of connecting with more people. I'd want to be in social settings more and more.
Okay.
And I'll probably find um, playing like sports fun, or engaging in like creative activities. Where
Okay.
that would be my thoughts. Having to do things, play around, and so.
Okay. Yeah. So those are great. So those are actually more your plan of action. Yeah.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. So this is going to be more action that you're going to take. Yeah. So when you're joyful, curious, and happy, and let's say you trip over a rock, what thought would you be having when you're joyful, curious, and happy, and you trip over a rock?
I think if I chip over a rock, I would just feel like, oh, I think I need to exercise more. I got to do some exercise.
Yeah. Okay.
Just be cautious of the things that's in front of me. Simple.
Okay.
I think
What's that mean, triple of the rock?
If you're walking and you trip on a rock, you just
A
trip.
trip. A trip.
Yeah. So I'm going to give an example. Yeah. Um, because remember the actions are all neutral, and what we think of it is what matters, whether it's positive or negative, right? So I trip over a rock and I just laugh and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a good thing I didn't fall. Yeah. Or I trip on the rock and then I go, oh, I'm so damn clumsy. I always do that. Oh, yeah. So you hear there's two different thoughts, self-talk. One is more positive, one is more negative. One is more a habit of thought of a joyful, happy person who kind of just shrugs it off. Yeah. The other is more of a person who's more pessimistic or focused on the negative. Okay. So those are examples of, for your emotional life, you're going to practice being someone who's joyful, curious, and happy. So you're going to practice the habits of thought and then the habits of being. So for you, you also said connecting with friends, right? So the happy, joyful, happy, curious, and joyful person, you're going to be someone who's going to hang out with your friends. My internet, sorry guys. So the key with the new me is not just having the idea up there, not just having our vision board. It's having the idea first, because that's intention, the power of intention. And then we want to spend time thinking about how good it feels. But we also want to take action that's based on the habit of that new identity. So that's what we call identity-based habits. So we're going to practice identity-based habits as much as possible. The identity for the emotional life for Kensho is joyful, curious, happy. So I'm going to practice habit of joyful, curious, and happy people. A real life example that you are practicing and you're not really consciously practicing, which is why I want to point it out, okay, is you got hospitalized in a psych ward. That's the neutral event, right? If we were not being joyful, happy, and curious, we might sound like, oh my God, it was so awful, blah, 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 blah. And this happened and this crappy thing happened and they stripped me naked and I didn't have my phone and oh my God, there's so many, blah, 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 right? But you are kind of unconsciously, so I want to make it conscious. You are consciously practicing a new identity-based habit. You're looking at it from the side of, I got to learn a lot. I got to experience some things that I didn't experience. Now I know. Now I'm taking better care of myself. 5 days could have been longer, but those are all choices, Kensho. Yeah.
And you mentioned specifically on how important words are. And so I don't really like to say I was hospitalized because I made myself in there. It was my choice. I hospitalized myself. And I'm glad I did. So these small words more conscious of now, thanks to you.
That's even tweaking it up, fine tuning it even more, right? You're taking the creator perspective, not I was hospitalized like you were a victim. You're speaking it from the creator side of I took myself in, I hospitalized myself. Yeah.
Right.
So looking at each category in our the new me spreadsheet that I gave you. Yeah, you can use that, or you can use another. If there's a different way you want to do it, it's fine. But really looking at that and identifying what are the habits that this new person, this new me would have. What are the practice of emotions, practice of thoughts? Yeah, what other categories are there? Socially, there's a new you that you see socially. What are the habits that they're going to have? Are you going to be thinking, oh my God, I hate having to drive all the way out there and meet with friends. I don't want to get ready to go out of the house. Right? Or are you going to be thinking, wow, I feel better when I hang out with friends. Great. That's important to me to socialize. It's good for my health. It's good for my emotions. Okay. Tomoko, you have a category you want us to kind of break down?
Spiritual life.
Spiritual life? Okay. Remind us what you want for your spiritual life to look like.
Grounded.
You, your spiritual life.
Grounded.
Grounded.
And aligned and powerful.
Powerful.
Oh, can I make one more? And steady.
It's yours. You can make it however
Okay.
you want.
Steady.
Okay. So let's see. Tell me what you mean by steady. What would a steady spiritual life look like?
Looks like this. Not this. Okay. So my wording, I say this, but not this. Okay. Creator me is steady means healthy. I'm healthy mentally and physically and emotionally healthy. I always put not, but not, but I don't want to say it. Yeah.
Job. Okay. So Kensho, Tomoko is really, really doing, and she's practicing the um choosing her words so that she doesn't say what she wants and then adds opposite energy by saying what she doesn't want. Because we noticed that was a habit that a lot of us do. I want this and not this. We'd say it like that. We're like, well, we just want to bring the positive stuff. So great job doing that. Tomoko, so I'm hearing that the steadiness in your spirituality is defined by your health mentally, emotionally, and physically. Okay. We probably want to pick that one apart a little bit, but let's go back to the other words you use: grounded, aligned, and powerful. What are some habits of, let's do physical habits, like how Kensho said his physical habits for his emotional life would be socializing with people, staying connected to people. Yeah. What are some habits for you for your spiritual life that would keep you grounded, aligned, and powerful?
Spend time in nature and have a long time.
Good.
But also having connection time with friends, people, nature, and myself.
Okay. I'm gonna push you a little bit more because I think you even have an idea of how much. Yeah. You want to be a little more descriptive on that, give even more information. How much alone time, how often, connection time, time in nature, frequency and
Uh,
duration.
Oh, so how much alone time? Every day I have to be alone, like certain hours to align myself and connect with myself
Mm,
and go in the nature to receive lots of nature's energy and cleanse myself
good. So
daily.
daily, and what is like a minimum amount of time that you know is really good for you? When you're at feeling grounded, powerful, and aligned, what's like the minimum amount of time that you know you need to take care of yourself?
I need a couple hours
Okay, 2 hours. We say 2 hours.
minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours minimum. Okay. And then what about the connection time? How often for the connection time with other people? Yeah.
With other people,
Is that a daily thing too, or is that
um, can be daily, but doesn't
where at
have to.
your best? At your best, when you're grounded, aligned, and powerful, what is the minimum amount of time that you need to socialize with other people?
Minimum of time.
At least once a month, at least once a week, at least once a day. What is minimum that you need?
Mm, couple days a week.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Of course, you can later if there's like the hours, but this is good. So daily time in nature, daily alone time, and a couple of times a week connection with other people. That helps you to feel grounded, aligned, and powerful. Okay. So let's move to the thoughts that you have in your head, the self-talk or the things that run through your mind when your spiritual life, when you're feeling grounded, aligned, and powerful. Let's say, let's use the example of kind of like when I was talking with Ken, like when you Kensho, when you walk. Um, for you, when something happens that you don't like, but you're still grounded, aligned, and powerful, what thoughts would you have in your head?
Say that again.
Yeah, when something happens in your life, yeah, in your day that isn't how you want it to be,
Oh, mhm.
yeah, how do you respond in your head? What thoughts do you have about it?
Oh
When,
well. What can I learn from this?
okay, great. So when you're grounded, aligned, and powerful, what can I learn from this? And kind of shrug it off.
Yeah, I
Okay.
kind of laugh at it.
Okay. Now we're going to go to the opposite just so that we can get the contrast. Yeah. When you're not spiritually grounded, aligned, and powerful, and something in your day happens that's not good, what are some of the thoughts that happen? And
Why is it happening to me? Often I use it when I'm laying down. So victim mind. And I
okay,
catch myself.
yes. So what you're describing, which is awesome, are different identities that you're taking on. The victim one, that's the why me, what's wrong with me, what did I do wrong? That's just our old habit. That's just our old identity and the habits of our old identity. Yeah. You're pushing for a new identity. And right now it's kind of a seesaw with your spiritual life. So you have periods where your spiritual life feels very grounded, aligned, and powerful. And things happen and you laugh at it, you shrug it off, and you're just like, what can I learn from this? Yeah. You might also add other thoughts that help you with your spiritual life, staying grounded or getting back grounded and staying powerful. by just saying that it's okay, things like that happen, and just move on. Yeah, it sometimes there's not even necessarily a lesson in things.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but like that one I had to learn because I'm so like I want to grow and I want to learn from everything. But like things just happen just because there's the other natural, laws of nature.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that really helps you guys to look at the other categories and recognize the identity-based habits that you just need to start practicing more and more to match your new identity. It literally just becomes like an act, like Kensho, when you said like fake it till you make it. It's kind of like just putting on a costume, waking up in the morning, remembering the new me that I am, and like, okay, how does she talk? How does he talk? How does she move? What do I do? And then you just go out through your day and you play that, you pretend that. You could even do that for like choose a date on your calendar and be like, okay, on Saturday, July 26th, I'm going to pretend for half a day that I'm everything in this new me. Yeah. I have a funny story about someone that I worked with at Kapiolani Community College. Kensho, you might know Devin.
Oh yeah.
Devin Peterson. Yeah. So we worked together really close for about 4 years. And she was on the plane. She's an attorney. Yeah, she has a very logical mind. She's very smart. Yeah, she's actually she's a lawyer. Very, very logical, very conservative, not touchy-feely, she's and then she was on the plane and she was sitting next to someone who started having a panic attack.
Oh.
He started having a panic attack and it kind of became a big deal. They had to call the flight attendant. And she said she sat there and she told herself, what would Cindy say? And she said, I just pretended I was you. She's like, I didn't panic like I would have. I just pretended I was Cindy and kept telling myself, what would Cindy say? What would Cindy do? And I pretended I was you. And that's all we're doing here. We're pretending we're the new identity that we want to become. And we pretend it so often that we end up becoming it. We attract the things that match our new identity because we practice the habits of that new identity. Yeah. That's the end in Shine. Is that helpful for you guys? Is that
Yeah.
helpful?
Just like us, like we pretended so much for our belief systems that's created who we are right now.
True.
Yeah, when I was having that panic attack, I think I told you in the last session, I initially heard your voice in my head, and then that kind of gradually shifted to my own voice. But I agree. I agree with there too. It's a powerful thing to be pretend you're Cindy. I completely.
So remember that's why with the new me spending time every day in that idea. Yeah. And then now that we're supercharging it and we're giving you kind of the challenge to go out and pretend you're that person. In the law or in the arena of manifestation, laws of manifestation, when I first started hearing it, I remember a lot of it was around money and wealth. And I remember them saying things like, well, if you want to be wealthy and have a fancy car and have a pretty house, then go and go test drive the car that you want. Go test drive your dream car. Go walk through houses that are pretty. And I didn't quite understand it like I understand it now. I think the danger in doing those things is if you like walk through the house and see this beautiful house and you're like, oh my God, this is what I want, but I don't have it, right? That's coming from not being the new identity. So we have to approach it with the mindset of, I'm acting the way that I would act. This is a habit that I would have if I was the person with a lot of money. Yeah, so it can get, I think it cannot work. It can backfire for a lot of people. We have to be sure we're choosing habit that keep us feeling good and we know is in that new identity. So Tomo, yours, the other part with the feeling steady, spiritually, it's connected to the mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy. So that means it's going to be important for you to go to each of those categories and break that down, right? What is going to keep me healthy? It may be getting a certain amount of sleep. It may be eating a certain way that's going to keep you nourished, right? Or this is why it's all individual. You know your body, but sometimes we forget that we need certain things or we have to avoid certain things, yeah, to keep ourselves stable and steady. Okay, is there does anything come to mind for you guys about things that health-wise that you should do or you should not do to keep yourself stable and steady?
For me, it's walking and exercise. That's important for me.
For you to do or not to do?
For me to do.
Okay. How much?
I think walking, it should be daily.
Okay.
And exercise, I'm thinking two to four times a week.
Okay.
Um,
What I love that we're talking about that's really important is really things that we do daily. Yeah. These literally, it's habits. It's not stuff we go do sometimes. It's the habits of the people um, that have the state of being that we want. Like it's a everyday thing or an almost everyday thing. So we have to watch that. Yeah. So walking every day for you, creating that habit. And that's what we want to focus on. This isn't about, oh, the sometimes go take the trip or sometimes we're gonna go and eat well. It's the everyday habit. Yeah. For me, I forget and what I need to not do. I need to not have coffee and my Ito and iced tea. I don't always have the Ito and iced tea, but like when I do, I forget that really um, agitates me from inside. So I have to watch my caffeine level. Yeah.
very important too.
Tom, what about for you, Tom? Was there something that you know for you for your health that it's important for you to do, maybe diet wise or exercise wise?
Sleep well, eat well, be outside.
Okay. And because I've worked with Tomo for a while, like I know that when she said sleep well, eat well, she actually knows what that means. Like I'm not asking you to like spell that all out because I know that you already have clarified that. Yeah, awesome. What about emotion wise, Tomoko? Because that's part of we kind of cover Kensho's. For you to keep your emotions feeling grounded, aligned, and powerful, what helps you emotions wise?
Feel it, not suppress it.
Good. Good. So expressing, yeah, letting yourself feel what you feel, not ignoring it. Yeah. And then what about thoughts that you have? What about some of the thoughts that run through your brain? If your emotions start maybe not feeling so well, but you're still grounded, aligned, and powerful. Yeah. What are some thoughts that can help you to get firmer?
I got this. So good.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Another one that might be helpful, that has helped me, is remembering that there is the law of rhythm. Yeah. And the two sides. There's also law of correspondence. So um we can have, so first, the law of rhythm is that sometimes if I notice that my mood is going down, yeah, um I'm sometimes I'm okay with it, and I just kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna have a pity me, hour or 2 hours or half hour. I'm gonna lie in bed. I'm gonna stay in bed. I'm gonna go whatever, do all the things that I do when I'm not feeling good. Okay, so it's eating crappy, right? I'd go eat chocolate and ice cream. I'm literally like, I'm very clear on what that depressed Cindy identity is. And sometimes if I'm feeling that and I don't want to fight it, then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just give that to myself. It's that creator in me thing. I'm going to just give it to myself. I'm going to let myself do that for a day. I'm not going to
Yeah.
beat myself up for it later. I'm not going to tell myself, oh my God, is this the start of like another, mental breakdown? Here I go again. I can't. It's like, and I notice that when I do that, it happens. It's not as intense. You just kind of let it happen, and then you know how to bounce back from that.
Yeah. I used to judge myself a lot, but no more. I'm more friendly and then nicer and softer to myself, which is
Yeah.
good. Then I feel rounder, not sharp.
Yeah. Right. Sharp or pokey.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Kensho, thoughts on hearing that?
I agree. Think I've learned to be more compassionate towards myself. Even
Yeah.
though it took me years to be compassionate to myself, but it's a very important thing. It's a great feeling to have understanding for yourself. Yeah,
And you're
Yeah.
still young. You learned it so young. I didn't learn it till a lot later.
Yeah. Not till a couple years ago for me.
Yes, for sure. I was in my 40s when I started learning to ease up on myself. And when you ease up on yourself, well, we noticed that when I ease up on myself, then I'm easy on everybody else.
Yeah.
that's right. That's correct.
Right.
Yeah,
I
So
realize how I take care of myself is how I take care of other people.
I had someone this week tell me, I had a client tell me that he's actually a counselor, and he said that he does deal with panic attacks also, and a lot of high pressure. Yeah. And what he said was, I'm so much nicer to my clients than I am to myself. So of course we dug into that a little bit, right? Because that's where we have to take care of ourselves first, because that's going to be able to allow us to not burn out when we're doing that with other people. Yeah. So it's great when we're treating other people the way that we treat ourselves, and we learn to treat ourselves nicely. Yeah. Cool. Hey, before we kind of close up here, was there anything else in particular that anyone wanted to bring up that we can maybe intend or think about for next week or over the next week?
I'm gonna definitely check out my wording and how I say stuff and catch myself
You already
and
are.
practice it.
Wow.
When I listened to recording on the Wednesday one, I was like, oh my God, I'm saying this. I want this, but not this. I want that, but not this. Yeah.
Kensho, what's on your thoughts, on your mind?
Do we also get a recording for today's session as well?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I emailed last week, I emailed even just my session with my Thursday with Tomoko. Yeah. Um, are you guys clear on what happens energetically when we do the old habit that Tomoko was saying? Are you, okay, Tomo saying yeah. Kensho, are you clear on that? On why that's not a good idea? Yeah. We end up fighting ourselves, right? We're like going forward, but going backwards also. Okay. Yeah. Hey, awesome job, you guys. Keep that up. Remember, okay, I want to just go over the shines practices again. These are daily practices. It's how it becomes part of our being, but it's also meant to not be um, very, very strict in how you do it. So I want you guys all to find the way that works for you to get the result. So with the practice of silence, it's centered silence. So we want it to be a daily practice of at least 2 to 3 minutes, not more than 10 minutes, because we're not doing like a serious spiritual practice of meditation. So a couple of minutes a day, preferably in the morning, where you're getting yourself quiet and you're really just sinking into the silence that often people feel in their heart. Sometimes people feel it more in their gut or below their pico, like the harakiri spot, the chi. Yeah. So we want to learn to do that without music, without the guided imagery. But if we're starting from having to use those things, that's fine. But we want to get to where we literally can sit and go into the silence that's inside of us. And we're not relying on something outside of us to talk us through. When we can do that, we're also not bothered by the noise outside. So we're practicing silence. When we get good at it, we don't need silence. Does that make sense? It can be super noisy outside. You can have whatever road construction happening outside, and you can do your breaths and you can go into your silence that's in here. So that's the centered silence. Remember to ground it. We want to center it into the ground, into the earth. So we want to bring our breaths down from heaven and anchor it into the earth. Okay, when we're doing the centered silence. So the H, the practice of happiness, that is lots of different ways to practice happiness, but you're really just, the most important thing is that we're conscious that we're choosing the happier thought. So it can be practice of gratitude. It can be identifying 2 to 3 things that are just happy thoughts for you. Make you smile, always kind of switches the switch back on to like a chuckle. Yeah. Warm, fuzzy animals, a little kitten, a picture without your favorite food, something like that. And then the third recommended recommended practice is just practicing looking back on how far you've come to your accomplishments, an accomplishments review. So any of those 3 are easy practices of happiness. Okay, the inner world is being aware of what's going on inside with our emotions, with our talk, adjusting our self-talk, almost catching her words. This is all inner work. This doesn't deal with anybody else but ourselves. So that's the inner work kind of work, as well as journaling, doing your own way of clearing and healing. Okay, the new me is having that identity, spending time on the identity, and then practicing your new identity habits. The E is your emotional things that bring you emotional ease. And so that's having a list because sometimes in the panic attack, as Kensho knows, sometimes in the panic attack, because we're in the panicked mind, we can't remember things. We're not in the mind with the memory. So we want to have a list that we can either just like pull up on our phone, or even if it's out and you're like, okay, that's right. Cold water, let's try deep breaths because that didn't work. Okay, let's try, whatever. Let's try jump on YouTube, and Cindy's got her guided meditations up, whatever, like stuff like that. You want to have a list of things that bring you emotional ease on a daily basis and on a treatment. Yeah, when something bad happens and you need it. But getting you started with the emotional ease list is, of course, silence and happiness. The practice of centered silence and the practice of happiness is on your everyday list. And the spirit world, it's just remembering it's going to be different things where we don't go into that super deep yet. That's remembering that we're spirit in a human body. So Kensho, when you're having that, like, okay, my body's flipping out, but I'm going to do these things first. And that's your spiritual side, like being able to still recognize, yeah, I'm okay. I'm going to get myself through this. And this feels like the right thing to do. You totally did the right thing to do for you in that moment, was to get yourself to the hospital and then getting yourself into the psych ward. I 100% believe that that experience is going to be what makes you special, and it's going to be a gift to other people that you help. Yeah. So it's not like, oh my God, avoid the psych ward. It's like, it's going to be different for everybody. So good job, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome. I'll see you guys next week, individually and together, if you join our group. Okay.
Right. Thank
Take care.
you.
Aloha.
Aloha.